on my computer.
Fixing your webcam.
Yeah, it's just...
Okay.
Yeah, and... Well, would you look at this? All right, guys, so we have the much anticipated Adidas Adizero SL2 here. And if you guys were subscribers of the channel, followed the journey last year, the Adizero SL was one of the shoes that I highlighted most on the channel. Just search Joanna Adizero in the YouTube search bar and you'll see how many videos I cranked out about this thing. I absolutely loved it. It reminds me of all the afternoons I spent suffering in the summer heat like we're gonna do today out here on the hills, and it reminds me of all those deals roundups that we used to put out, and what a good value this shoe is. So this was MSRP $120 and it was often $65, $35. I picked up my pair I think for about 60. So I was hyped when I saw the Adizero SL2, which is in this box, at the running event. I was hoping I could be first, but I was not first to review it. They released it to the Euros before me. So you know what Ricky Bobby says about being first? What I say is if you can't be first, be best. So let's get into it, baby. Adizero SL. We're going to put some miles on this thing. Okay, so despite my prolific coverage of the Adizero SL1, despite my enthusiasm and excitement for the two, Adidas did not send me this. I emailed their PR agency multiple times. They did send me the Supernova Rise and the Takumi Sen, but I was asking them, when is the 2 going to come out? I would love to review it. People are excited. Ghosted, bro. Absolutely ghosted. So I bought this myself with my own money. I actually bought 2 pairs of it because I saw it went up and I wanted to just I wanted to review it for you as soon as possible. This is the pair I got from Dick's. It's in a much better colorway than the first pair that I saw get up. I'm a real sicko. When these shoes go up, I buy them and I try to get them in here as soon as possible. So that's a black pair that I'll just be sending back to return because they arrived on the same day. But let's see what color this pair is. You probably already saw in the thumbnail, but I have not seen it. You've seen. Isn't that weird? You've seen how the shoe looks before I have. You ever think about that? That's funny. All right, ready? Adidas classic black shoebox. This is the same shoebox they put the Adizero Evo Pro in. Let's see. Bada boom. Yo, I can see that vibrant green through the little thing here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Man, it is so much sweeter to hold these things in my hand when I pay for them with my own money. Look at this. So this is a good looking shoe. This colorway reminds me actually of the first Adidas running shoe I ever had, which is a pair of Ultra Boosts. And this was at the tail end of the Ultra Boost craze, Ultra Boost life cycle, when the Ultra Boost was really still a legit performance running shoe. So hopefully this is a good replacement for that Ultra Boost. Hopefully it gives us some bounce, some pop, and some durability. So I've been running in the Pegasus a lot this week, and one of the key selling points of that shoe is how durable it is. And it looks like Adidas is coming for the throne with this. And that's another reason why I have such an emotional kinship and attachment to the shoe. Look at this. Adizero SL2. This is the second year of the shoe being in production in its current state. Adizero SL1, it launched last year, or 2022, when I launched this channel. Me and this shoe, we're like the same. It's trying to give you more value for the price. It's the new kid on the block. It's trying to knock down Cumulus 26 who? Pegasus 41 who? I feel you, bro. That's how I'm coming this year, man. Adizero SL2, we're coming for the crown in the Adizero SL2. Now, this guy, big updates here. Light Strike Pro in the midsole. So this is a little bit of what I'm hoping might be a budget Boston 12. And you guys know I absolutely love the Boston 12. We're out here without the Boston 12 because I don't want to go back in there and wake up Reevesy because he's sleeping. So if I have to, when I go back in there, because I'm going to have to grab the GoPro to go run, I'll grab the Boston 12. But for now, we just have the SL2 here. Light Strike Pro, it's definitely softer, this midsole, than the last generation. So I should have mentioned key changes, more of the Light Strike Pro. You can see it goes all the way to the back and the front. In the SL1 here, you only had Light Strike Pro up in here. So that's the racing foam. It's going to hopefully make the SL2 a little bit bouncier, more propulsive. And this is a really competitive category right now with these lighter weight, faster, everyday running shoes. So this guy is designed to go head to head with the Mach 6, with the Rebel V4, of course with the Pegasus. And maybe Supernova Rise goes a little bit more against the Pegasus, but it's a speed training everyday run shoe with a ton of this racing foam. So Mach 6, that doesn't have a racing foam in it. The Rebel V4, that doesn't have the racing foam in it. They call it fuel cell, but it's something different. This looks like it's probably given us the most amount of racing foam in any shoe. That's only $130 or whatever the shoe is. So it's shaping up to be good value if it can run a little bit better than last year. So the other thing is the carrier foam here, or this outside foam. So the Light Strike Pro is only on the inside. This is Light Strike 2.0. Let's see, they're just calling it Light Strike now. Yeah, they're just calling it Light Strike now, but it's definitely softer. Look at that, to the touch. And you can see, wow, look at this. This is the view where you can see how soft this foam is. I'm not going to be able to do that with this guy. Yeah, this is really firm. So look at this guy when I push it in here. And the SL1, I'm not getting much give. Versus SL2, this is really soft. So I'm almost thinking this is going to feel like an actively soft shoe like the Mach 6 versus this. This was an actively firm shoe, and that was one of the issues. That was why this was a sleeper pick, underrated pick. I really liked it because I tend to like firmer shoes for faster running, and especially when I was reviewing this shoe and running in it a lot, I was rotating between this and shoes like the Socket Endorphin Shift 3, which also was a more traditional feeling foam and firmer ride. So this was good for faster running. It could be a little bit punishing for slower paces. We'll see if that has been rectified or changed at all. In this guy, I think it's going to give us a little bit of a softer step and feel and be a little bit better for slower paces, but it still does that fast race foam. So one of the things, though, I'm noticing is a lot of the shoes in the category have a little bit of a rocker profile or platform. You can see here we don't get much roll from the SL1 and SL2. No, not really. So still has that flat European profile. I don't know why the European brands, Puma out there too, they don't do a big rocker on these training shoes. So maybe we can get that in the Adizero SL3. But for now, it's giving us a nice midsole foam here. You got the Light Strike Pro inside the Light Strike. Lots of rubber coverage and should be coming in at a lighter weight. So I'm going to pop out, let's see. Yeah, I'm going to pop out the last little bit of insole here, and let's pop this on the scale and do a comparison to the SL. Alright guys, so it is the afternoon. I already did my morning run, and I was waiting to do this video because I needed to wait for the packages to arrive. So I already got 10 miles in the Pegasus. This is going to be my second run of the day, and I don't have all the shoes out here because this was a little bit of an impromptu video, and everyone's sleeping, and I can't be coming in and out of the door. So maybe we're going to do the full shebang in the next video I do at the shoe, but for now, just a little quick hitter. So this is coming in at 261.5 grams in that 10.5 US men's. Off the top of my head, let me give you some approximate weights here. Asics Nova Blast 4, 280 to 285. Nike Pegasus, 300 to 310. Puma Velocity Nitro 3, 280. New Balance Rebel V4, 223. What other shoes? Asics Supernova Rise, 300 to 310. Saucony Ride, 305. Pull up like I'm Rain Man, bro. I think that was enough for you. So this is coming in on the lighter side. I don't remember exactly Hoka Mach 6. We're going to have to do a head-to-head between these two. I don't actually remember the weight of that off the top of my head. But what's impressive about this shoe is it feels lightweight in the hand too, but what's impressive is it's giving us a lot of rubber. So you get tons of rubber The stack is pretty high. You're getting more foam in the forefoot here than in the Pegasus. I can tell you that. The Pegasus has that aggressive 10 millimeter drop, and it looks and feels like the 10 millimeter drop. This looks like a lot more moderate of a drop and a lot more stack and protection in the forefoot here than what we're getting out of the Peg. So far, man, this is shaping up to be an absolute banger. Value, yes, is there, $130. So that undercuts a lot of the $140 shoes like the Nova Blast and the Mach 6. We'll just have to see how it rides. So we don't need the whole song and a dance today, baby. We're just gonna get right into that run. Afternoon run number 2. Let's go. Well, I guess it's afternoon run number 1, but run number 2 on the day. Let's pop on this guy real quick though. So the SL1 276. So look at that. We did drop weight, and that's mostly going to be from the addition of, or the additional racing foam versus that standard training foam, because this EVA foam here with the firmness, that's going to be a little bit bulky. So let's lace these things up and see how they feel. Man, Gel Cayano 31, who? Pull up with the SL2. All right, 257.5. You know we had to do the both of them for QA. That's not great QA. 5-gram difference in a shoe this light. Not great. All right, let's get this on foot. One thing I am noticing though, actually, between these two, and I'll do a little comparison in a sec here, but someone actually mentioned this to me today, that this is narrow. It does look like they made the forefoot of the SL2 even narrower, which is just odd. That's a little bit going in the wrong direction. This looks like it's going to fit like the Takumi said. It's giving me that big Euro vibe. Look at that. They made the upper more European. That is for sure. That's probably why they sent it to the milkman before me. I don't know if they sent it to the milkman. I think he buys his shoes too. I don't know. I'm telling you right now, man, nobody else out there can rattle off daily trainer weights like that off the top of their head. I'm a sicko. I'm a real sicko. I already told you that, man. I'm coming like 2014 future. Monster, 56 nights, beast mode. I'm coming like 2017 Conway the Machine. It's just absolute sicko. I'm gonna memorize every single running shoe weight out there. Get on my level. It's the most useless skill of all time. Flex. Alright, so we got the SL1 on the left foot. SL2 is going on the right foot here. And yeah, so from the top, they actually look pretty similar. I don't know if you can see this. That's a little bit better angle. They have this little flare, this little bulge in the forefoot. They fit similar narrowness. They still have the long, weird tongue on the SL2. They kept weird parts. So they changed the most important part, which is the midsole is a little softer. But they kept weird parts, like the obnoxiously long tongue and then the narrowness. But good laces here. I love these laces. And this upper is a lot better than what we're getting on the other Adizero shoes. And it's simple. There's not a lot of padding, not a lot going on. This is an A+ training upper, so nice job, Adidas. It is narrow in the forefoot. It is a little snug, but other than that, it's nice. Other thing I should mention, by the way, it's not Continental rubber, but it is good. The grip on the SL1 was fantastic. Looks like it's the same. All right, a little walk test here. Let's do it. All right, I'm gonna walk down to the street so we can do a real jog test in these, but on foot, just walking here, these feel really similar. It doesn't feel that different. Yeah, it doesn't feel like one of them I have a 1080 on and the other one is a Saucony Ride or something where it's a huge difference in softness and firmness. So I'm guessing that's gonna change when we start running here, but in terms of the geometry and just the general feel of the shoe, very similar. Alright guys, Adidas Adizero SL2 quick jog test comparison to the SL1. This is brought to you by our friends over at Crocs. Look at this beautiful Crocs recovery slide, and look at the softness of this foam here. This is called, they call it the Light Ride. As you know, we don't care about the name of the technology, but if you are looking for a comfortable, soft summer recovery slide, go ahead and smash that link below. They're sponsoring the channel right now. This is going to help support the channel, keep the good vibes coming. That's the new slogan for Crocs. They keep the good vibes coming all summer. This is what's going to be on my foot. So let's do this little jog test. Everybody knows the rules. One jog, SL1 versus SL2. Let's get it. In the linen shirt. Who else you know putting in work in the linen shirt, baby? Let's go. So yeah guys, this is way softer than the SL1. That's what I could tell you right now without even doing a 800 meter or mile jog. Way softer than the SL1. So look at this. Look at this. Yeah, this is gonna be a nice ride. I also think, yeah, a little bit more flexible. That's what I remember from holding this shoe at the running event. Look at that flexibility. So this is gonna be a contender for, could be speed training workhorse of 2024. Man, but don't forget, I was on the SL back before it was cool in 2023. So put some respect on the Adizero SL1. It is a firm shoe, but I still like it. So yeah, way softer than the SL1. If you found that shoe too firm, you're probably gonna be happy with this, but let's go lace up the other one and take it out for some miles, baby. It is hot. Woo. Yeah, 85 feels like 92. I need a sunscreen sponsor, man. So far it seems like they've kept the general vibe, but just made it softer, which is exactly what we've asked for. This might be the best update I've seen this year, because sometimes it feels like brands update shoes because they're required to. It's like, oh, Asics, okay, gel cumulus 25 to 26, we need to change it even though there's no reason to. This is not that type of a change. This is a type of a change where they listened to consumers, they heard the feedback, and they incorporated it into the product. So it's a little bit softer, but it kept that same fast, fun feel. And I would love to get one of these over to our friend Kaden on the track side, who's running the Subwell track channel, because I'm thinking this might be a viable shoe for some top-end speed work as well. So if Adidas ever responds to my emails, maybe I can get them to send Kaden a pair so I don't have to pay for it, but we'll see. But plan for this run, 8 miles, as fast as we can go without dying in the heat or feeling miserable. So I don't know, maybe like a 7:30 pace. It is really hot. 85 doesn't sound that hot, but trust me, in this Carolina heat, it is hot. I also have thicker socks on than normal because this is all that was left in my sock drawer. So I mean, they're soft and nice, but they're pretty thick. So 8 miles, second run of the day. We're gonna total 18 miles on the day today. Ran on the Pegasus this morning, but to get it in the Adizero SL2. Let's go. Who else you know? Pull up with the Dance Dance Revolution. Pull up with the Dance Dance Revolution in the SL2 first run review, bro. Put some respect on the grind. Shade. Shade. All right, mile 2, 6:43, and man, this is a lot of fun. I thought the Mach 6 was the most fun you could have for 140 or under. This might be coming for that crown. So next week, probably do that head-to-head Mach 6 v SL2. But man, is this shoe squirrely and unstable. Boy, I feel like I'm just getting popped off every which way when my foot hits the ground. No stability whatsoever. Very narrow. It's actually better up at the front, but for my heel clunking hobby jogger run style at this 640 pace, zero stability. All right, hill time. See you guys in a bit with another update. Guys putting in work. We're about to hit mile 3, and so far feels like the shoe, wow, 6:34, feels like the shoe can keep up. It's soft but fast. It can keep up with what I'm trying to do, and it doesn't feel like I'm maxing it out either. I definitely don't have faster than a 6:30 on me right now, given the heat and the mileage, but at this pace, this might be the top dog for a fast, non-plated daily. Shout out to all the hermanos putting in work out there today. All right, downhill, get a little bit of shade. This is not the Supwell certified side of the street to run on, unless you're in the UK, like the milkman. But sometimes you gotta just pull up with the shade. Alright guys, hear me out. Saucony Endorphin Speed 2. Saucony Endorphin Speed 2. That's what this is. It's the Speed 2. Soft, squishy, unstable, tons of fun. And also a lot cheaper. And like the Speed 2, it's bringing something new to market that we haven't seen before. I never ran in the Peg Turbo, but I would imagine that's kind of what this is too. But man, for $130, this might be the best value on the market right now if you want soft and fun. But yeah, Speed 2, man. That's my closest comp right now. Downhill in the shade. Let's go. Shout out to our friends at UPS, putting in the work per usual. Man, I am working really good, but the squish on these is insane. Next level. This might be the squishiest shoe I've ever run. Yeah, I'm sinking down deep into this. This is a case where I almost think a plastic plate might have done the shoe some good. I don't know. It is really squishy. We'll see though. Whew. All right, just hit mile 5. Cornering test coming up here on the cliche cul-de-sac. Shout out to my friends, the straight pipes. They're not my friends. They don't even know who I am, but I like them. All right, let's get it. Whew. Forefoot feel is actually nice and planted, especially when slowing down a bit. It's just I get a lot of squish when running fast. You saw how flexible the shoe was, how I could just completely twist it, fold it like a pancake. So yeah, the flexibility actually does it some good on the cornering, and so does the wide forefoot. It's really heel and midfoot stability that's the issue. By the way, this is the same weight as the Boston 12. That's about 264. And then Saucony Endorphin Speed 4, 274. How you like them apples? How you like them? All right, mile 6. That was a 6:39. We are moving and grooving. About to hit this massive hill here and then cruise home for 8. So I'm just gonna lock in, try to see if I can go sub 7 pace on this hill. It is quite a big hill. Alright, that was mile 7, 6:31 up the hill. I'll see you guys at home. Alright guys, we're gonna walk it out here. We just hit mile 8. Another one of those days. We don't need to be a hero. We got our mileage. We got more than our necessary mileage for the day. I only needed 10 on the day. Got that in the morning in the pegs. 8 miles now in the Adizero SL, and fun squish, baby, fun squish. Do you know the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man, the Muffin Man? Do you know the bang? All right. Lives on Petty Lane, 6:44 pace, 8 miles, 54 minutes in the Adizero SL2, and I had to bring this one out here not to spoil whatever potential comparison content we could have cooked up, and I probably still will do a comparison just to push people in one direction or the other, but these are not really similar shoes at all. They feel nothing alike. They couldn't feel farther apart, actually. Yeah, they're very, very different shoes. I would not even think they're from the same brand, just from the ride experience. And if you are listening to this and not watching it, which, by the way, that's a common thing people do with this channel here. We're the best podcast that's not a podcast. But if you're listening to it and not watching it, I was talking about the Boston 12. This is what I have here. Very different than the Adizero SL2. And one thing I wanted to show you before I lace these down is take a look at this. This is something I noticed when we were walking it back here. It is kind of a weird fit around the back, and it's almost folding in on itself. It looks like this feature is designed to do that. It's not. It's just bunching up around my ankle, the upper, in a weird way. I didn't feel that whatsoever. I didn't feel any slipping. I didn't feel any issue with it, but it is less padded. That's one thing that I noticed. It's a lot less padded than the SL1. You can see this guy has 285 miles on it. You have more structure on the back, more padding. This guy is a little bit thinner. They've pushed this into more of almost a true speed training shoe, but we're going to take these off and then do the breakdown of it. And I absolutely love this colorway. It's like those Adidas Ultra Boosts. And I think, man, if the one-man hype machine here, I guess two-man hype machine now, Joanna and Kaden, if we can get the good word out about the shoe, I mean, after some testing, though, we of course, got to do more testing, but if we can get the good word out about this shoe, this might get an Ultra Boost kind of reputation, because I think the durability is going to be great. Look at this. 285 miles. This thing could go forever. That was the SL1. 300 miles on this bad boy. Boston 12, this thing could go forever. So I have no concerns about the durability here, other than the fact that this is such a soft shoe. So actually, maybe I do have some concerns about the durability. But man, if you're going to come out here, get fired up, run 8 miles in the 90-degree weather, I don't know if there's a better daily trainer type shoe on the market right now for that than this SL. But let's go down to the street to the breakdown. I might need to throw the Lennon collar shirt back on just to show them that I mean business. But let's do it. Hold on, man. Just look at this thing. SL2. They have the chrome lettering, some nice silver on the back. I stopped talking about the design of these shoes so much because I focus on the performance, but this is a good looking shoe. It's clean. It's simple. There's not too much padding going on. There's nothing busy about it. It just works. This, if you told an alien, that's a massive stack, to design a running shoe or AI, man, do I hate AI. This is what Jerry Seinfeld said. AI is what you use if you can't think for yourself. I kind of agree. If you told an AI to spit out a running shoe, though, and it were a smart AI that were trained on a good database and good models, it might spit out something that looks like this. Or if you just hired a bunch of designers from Nuremberg, this is what they'd come out with. And look at this thing. It is slick. This is a slick boy. We always talk about the thick boys. This is a slick boy. Whew. Looking good, man. Also, though, one thing that I always thought funny about it, and it kind of gave me this vibe at the running event too, and I thought they would change it for the production version, something about this slit here kind of looks unfinished. I don't know why it is, and it seems like maybe there's some variation. Yeah, this one looks a little bit cleaner. Maybe they'll clean it up as these iterations come out, but it looks a little bit unfinished, doesn't it? This window peering into the Lightstrike Pro, and then with how the Lightstrike Pro is printed on it. And I guess that's kind of the vibe they're going for. They want it to look like it's a tear in this outer carrier to peer into the inner part, and they only have it on this side to show how much you're getting. And you are getting a lot, it seems, but it's just a little bit silly. But all right, let's go down there and do this breakdown. And man, I'm salty. Can you see that? Look at that salt. Trying to get an electrolyte spot. That's who it was. One of the electrolyte brands. My friend Taylor is doing some partnership work for us. They told us we're too small. So guess what? I'm getting a startup electrolyte brand to send me some stuff. I'd rather get the startups out here anyway. That's more aligned. And Crocs. You know why I'm aligned with Crocs? Because they keep the good vibes coming. That's what Crocs does. So, man, smash that Crocs recovery slide link below. Get yourself a new comfy pair of shoes. And man, the SL2s, they might be softer than these Croc slides. And that is saying a lot because these Croc slides are very soft. All right, enough with the yapping. There he goes again. Just yapping. That's why he's Tier B media. That's why he's not Tier A. Tier A media, they keep it tight. They keep it... All right, guys. 8 miles in the Adizero SL2, and it is so bright and vibrant. I have to turn the brightness all the way down. I probably look super dark and everything else looks dark, but man, fun shoe. Before we get into it though, I have to shout out my guy, Arvin San Diego. And I said last year, nobody cared when we were grinding out miles in the SL1, and we have to make people care with how much work we do. And Arvin, I know Arvin cares about the Adizero SL2 because he's been asking me, and I told him, bro, Mr. San Diego, just wait, because I ordered that thing. It's coming any day now. As soon as it comes, I'm gonna tear it out of the box and let you know how it rides. So, how does the Adizero SL2 ride? That is a great question. If you're familiar with any of the other Adizero shoes, SL1, Boston 12, Adios Pro 3, get those out of your mind. The SL2 is a completely different beast. This is taking the Adidas lineup in a totally different direction. This might be the softest shoe that I've run in 2024. Now, maybe not the softest shoe on the market today, because 2023 we had the 1080 V13 come out, but in terms of this type of a shoe, most definitely the softest $130 to $140 daily trainer. And then thinking about any type of shoe, max cushion, recovery, this has got to be up there with softest shoes on the market. So that's down to 2 of the changes they made in the midsole here, and they're both around the foam. So first one is the light strike carrier. They softened it up a ton, and that's what's giving you this much flexibility. Okay, now the sun's going away. Boom, that's better. But that's what's giving you this much flexibility. I mean, look at this. This is what I was talking about when we were cornering out there. Look how flexible this shoe is. It is really insane. If you compare it to this guy, it's not really the same thing. And then Boston 12, little flex test here. A little bit, but not too much. So the carbon rods, or I think they're glass fiber in here, that's what's firming this up. But I also think just both of the foams that are in the Boston 12 are firmer on their own, just the compounds in here, than what we're getting in the SL2. So Light Strike Pro, really soft. You're getting a lot of it, and that is the main character of the ride. It is that soft, bouncy Light Strike Pro. But one thing that I was surprised about, what I think I'm most surprised about, is that all the Adizero shoes that have the Light Strike Pro have this dense feeling. There's a density, and what it feels like is your foot doesn't sink too far into the foam, and you got to really work to get that bounce out of the shoe. Either work through accumulating 50 plus miles to break the shoe in, or work through running with more force, more power, more weight, whatever it is. This shoe, that is not the case. At my everyday running pace, and we weren't doing that too much, first mile was a 7:20, but other than that, we were moving and grooving at a 6:30 or 6:40. But at that warm up or everyday running pace, 7:20, it felt soft, it felt squishy, it didn't have that density to it. And as I was going through the gears, 6:30, 6:40, it felt really soft, like my foot was sinking deep down into the foam before I got that bounce back. So this is a case where I'm actually wondering if they overcorrected just a little bit. Is the shoe too soft? This is not a question we're going to answer today. But that is the biggest difference from the SL1 here. SL1, too firm. No question about it for 99% of the market. Just look at this. I'm not getting much of anything when I push in the SL1. For 99% of the market, this guy was 100% too firm, versus this guy, the sun is doing me no favors today. So some days it's the flies, some days it's the rain. Today it's the sun. We're just gonna roll with it, man. I think that's better. But yeah, did this potentially overcorrect? Very flexible, very soft. So I'm 160 pounds, 6'2". This is a new variable that I've been thinking about recently. So I'm 6'2", but I have only a 10.5 size foot. So my feet are a little bit small, I think, for my height, versus I would say the average height for a size 10.5 is probably somewhere between a 5'9" and 6 foot, if I had to guess, for most of the American population. So even though I'm not the heaviest runner, because I'm running a little bit faster than average on my workouts, 640, 630, 620s, even sub 6, and because my relative size for how much foam I'm getting underfoot, I'm getting less foam in the shoe than someone my size typically would. They'd probably be a size 12, 12 and a half, 13 at a 6'2", or at least a size 11, 11 and a half. That gives me more of the experience of a bigger, heavier runner relative to the size of the shoe. So it's also possible, because I am a little bit bigger, I don't need to run through that whole analysis again, but it's also possible that this shoe feels a little bit softer than it might for someone else. So I do want to flag that. But even compared to, in the same size, 10.5 Adizero SL1, 10.5 Boston 12, SL is so much softer than these two shoes, which I think most people will appreciate. That was the main concern or criticism with this shoe, other than the upper, and I'll get to the upper in a second, was just that this midsole felt a little bit too firm, too clunky, too awkward. This is not awkward at all. Now, there's not that huge rolling curvature to it. As I said, the European brands, for some reason, they don't add much of a rocker to the shoe, and they like the Milkman. But because it's a little bit softer, you get that nice, gentle little squish in the back that then rolls you forward up to the front of the toe here and to the toe off. So much smoother ride than the Boston 12, much smoother and softer than the SL1. Now, the three questions that I always like to answer when reviewing these shoes: how does a shoe do versus its intended purpose? How does it do versus its competitors? And how does it do versus the rest of the market? And let's take that last one first. And now it's the flies. But let's take that last one first. So how does it do versus the rest of the market? As I mentioned, one of the softest shoes out there. I do have another soft max, or two soft max cushion cruisers coming in here, but as of today, I would put this up there with the Hoka Mach 6 and New Balance 1080 V13 with that fresh foam as the three softest shoes. So if you like soft shoes, if you're seeking that soft ride, this is gonna be the one. But also, relative to the rest of the market, way less stable. This is one of the least stable shoes I've run in, and a lot of brands are going more towards these wider bases. That's gonna be another difference from the Boston 12 here. Just look at how wide the Boston 12 is versus the heel of the SL1. So way more squirrely, way more squishy, way narrower in the heel of the SL2. Boston 12, you get a little bit more of that planted wide base. So less stable, but more squishy, and also more fun. And then if we're thinking about how does the shoe how does the shoe do versus its competitors, and I don't know why I'm going backwards today. I think sometimes once we've got something down, we just have to kind of confuse ourselves. So we're going backwards. We're doing market, category, and then intended purpose. So category, how does it do versus the category? And let's go 100 to 100 or 130 to $140 everyday running shoes that are oriented a little bit more towards fun and lively experience. So Nova Blast 4, that's going to be the most protective option, most stable. This is probably the complete opposite of that shoe. It's softer, it's bouncier, it's faster, it's 20 grams lighter in my size. Overall, a more streamlined package, but not going to be stable. Mach 6. This is one where we're gonna have to do a head-to-head comparison, because both of those are really fun shoes, really fast shoes, and I actually don't remember the weight of the Mach 6 off the top of my head. And unfortunately, I don't run in it all that often too much. I don't run in it. I haven't been running in the Mach 6 because the 10.5 in the white, just the white colorway, they completely butchered the sizing on those. This has been verified on the forums and a bunch of people. All the white colorways, the sizing is way off. So my 10.5 in that fits more like a 9.5, so my toes get really battered. I'm gonna run in it in the head-to-head for this next week, but just know when I do that, I'll be putting myself through some pain. Self-flagellation. This might be the self-flagellation, the Adidas Adizero self-flagellation V2. So versus Mach 6, both are soft, both are fun. We're gonna have to do a head-to-head. I will say, that's a Honda Pilot. This is basically the opposite of a Honda Pilot, but I will say Mach 6, that's more of a rocker rolling. This is more of a flat platform here, and also this has a lot more rubber coverage. So what's interesting about this shoe is it's blending some of those workhorse elements that we might get from a Pegasus with how much rubber we're getting on here, and also a little bit more of a built-up upper. It's not super built up, but you have more on this than I think we're getting on the Mach 6. So it's blending some of those workhorse style elements with those speed training elements. There's no other speed training shoe that has this much coverage. And look at this. Look how thick. Look how thick. Look how thick that rubber coverage is. So it's not Continental rubber. The Boston 12 has the Continental rubber, but it is really good rubber coverage. I'll make sure we get some wet weather grip testing in within the next, I don't know, when I'm gonna do a lot of testing in the shoe. So I'll make sure I get you wet weather on this, but it seems like it's the same compound as this. in the SL1, and the SL1 had really good wet weather performance. So this is going to be a little bit more robust and durable than the speed training shoes at that 130 and 140 price point, likely. Versus the Rebel V4, I think it's going to be more durable, just given what I know about Adidas and how they make their shoes. But the softness of the shoe is making me question that a little bit. So stay tuned on that. But versus 130 and 140, more fun than a lot of those shoes, more bounce, more squish, more speed. Now, how does it do versus the intended purpose? I think Adidas's intended purpose with the shoe, and it's not always clear because Adidas pumps out a ton of shoes. And the Adizero lineup is the one area of the Adidas camp that is nice and tight. I don't think their inventory management is tight because they're always cutting the prices. Again, this thing was $35 last year. This thing you could pick up for $96 in some colorways right now on adidas.com. I'm sure we'll see this shoe for under $100 sometimes in the next few months, but I think the intended purpose of this is to be a durable, fast, fun shoe, providing more value, more enjoyment than any other shoe in the category. And as the SL2, the new kid on the block, it's coming for the throat of the Pegasus 41. So this night, Adidas wants to have a Pegasus in their lineup. They don't have that go-to default shoe. So they've set out two different work streams, two parallel paths. I gotta erase the corporate speak. This is we had a long week on my 9 to 5, but they've parallel path two work streams. Can we circle back on this next week? So they have this, and they have the Supernova Rise, is what I'm trying to say. So Supernova Rise is the one that they've designed to be comfortable. This is the one that they've designed to be fast. That's also pretty soft. Before it was that this was fast and firm, Supernova Rise was soft and relaxed. Now we have soft and slow and soft and fast, I think is the way I would look at it. Supernova Rise is also going to be a lot more stable. So that's soft, stable, comfortable. This is soft, squishy, fast. It's not uncomfortable. As I said, I wasn't expecting it to be even as comfortable as it was, but not as comfortable as the Supernova Rise. So intended purpose of this is to be that speed training shoe that provides value. After the first run here, ripping off a 640 up and down the hills in the 90-degree weather, watch is reading 85, but I'm just going to round up to 90. You know, it's okay. I think they knocked it out of the park with accomplishing the intended purpose of the shoe. So stay tuned for more testing. Key downsides of the shoe are really going to be that narrow fit on the upper. The security, the way that it was strapped down to my foot was great, but if you do have a narrow foot or a wider foot, might be a little bit of issue. I do have to say there was no rubbing whatsoever, which is great, and I had no issues with the heel slipping around in the back. It's just if you do have a wider than normal foot, as you saw in the beginning, they've made this even narrower than the SL2 here, which is already pretty narrow. So that's going to be one downside, narrowness. The other, that softness. I don't know if this is going to be the best option for bigger runners out there, because even me at 6'2", when I'm cranking it down to that 630 pace, shoe feels like it might be a tad bit too soft. I feel weird saying that because I've been running in some firm shoes and absolutely beating them down for being firm. Something like the New Balance 860, I think that might be the perfect shoe in terms of in between soft and firm with some fun, with some structure right now. This is definitely that unbridled joy experience. So stay tuned for more, but first run, baby, this is a fun shoe. If you are looking for something to put some fun miles in this summer, you've heard everybody talk about the Mach 6, you're not quite convinced. It's just the pilot again, man. Just the pilot again, man. Give me something else. That's how I felt about the Pegasus 41. Just the same thing again. This is not the same thing again. This is different, completely different than the SL2, completely different than anything else on the market, especially at this $130 price point. This is likely going to go on the Supwell certified list. V1 was Supwell certified for the fun and the value we got from a firmer take. This is now a softer take. I think though, now that's what I'm talking about, baby. Pull up with that X5. We got something exciting rolling through. But I think if you're missing the feel of this, if you're one of the few like me who really liked the firmness of the SL1, you might want to check out the Puma Velocity Nitro 3. That's the best firm $130 to $140 fast daily shoe that I've tried yet this year. Also a very durable one. So this is now the softer take in the category. So with that, guys, that's all I have for now. I'll probably have something else to say. I am fired up, man. Get your miles in this weekend. Up your best, baby. I'll see you tomorrow. One more thing, man. Look at this. Adidas with these Adizero shoes, they have the cleanest design language. These colorways are just so simple. Look at this. You have the blue version with the black stripes. Simple and beautiful. Red version with the black stripes. Simple and beautiful. And then now we have the green version with the black stripes. Same as the Takumi-sen. Simple and beautiful. Adidas might have the cleanest design language right now with these Adizero shoes. Design 100p supple certified. Yeah. We're healthy. All right, one more thing, guys. Friday night dinner. Charles has the nice summer salad with lettuce, chickpeas, tomatoes, cucumber. But the real star of the show over here, look at this. Look at this. Buffalo chicken pizza, vegan, with Impossible chicken nuggets. That's my type of Friday night dinner. Look at that. Anything you want to say?
Pizza.
Bang.
Bang.
Pizza. This is fire.
This is fire.